Right, here we are. We're with Chris, all slightly exhausted after the draw against Chatham Town today. Lots of incidents. From my point of view, I think the team did put in a real shift today. That's one thing I will say. Yeah, I mean, really ended up unlucky to lose. I mean, we could have won that, couldn't we?
Yeah, it feels like 2 points dropped when you're winning the game with 90 seconds to play. It's frustrating to not convert it to all 3 points and to obviously only walk away with a point. But again, there was enough in the performance again where you go, well, you know, there's a lot to be pleased about and positive about. So similar to really Saturday against 𝑽𝑰𝑬𝑾, obviously we've drawn the game, but come away feeling like we're the dominant side and that we're in a good place. It's just a case of converting those 1 points into 3 points. But as you know, like I try not to focus too much on the outcome because it can get in the way of where you're actually at sometimes, because you can win and be terrible and then lose and be great. So I just think all in all, we walk away from the week, 2 draws and a win, positive, gaining confidence, because as I said that, we've played 2 of the sort of better teams in the division. So we come away with it from the week confident, positive, but slight feeling of disappointment as well that we haven't converted it into 3 wins out of 3.
Yeah. You obviously had more players at your disposal today, but the one thing that I think I noticed was that Charlie was kicking the ball more. We looked as though we were playing more direct today. There was obviously Sam Gale was still controlling the ball to start the build up, but Charlie seemed to be kicking the ball a little more. We were playing a little bit more direct, perhaps.
Yeah, we just felt that we could expose Chatham in a particular way, really. We're having to be adaptable whilst not coming away from what we believe is the best way to win games, but we're having to be adaptable because the pitch is very difficult. But again, that's probably 10% of the reason that we went from back to front a little bit quicker today. The main reason was we felt we could cause Chatham more problems doing that. So and I thought we did. I mean, TC got in a few times, John got in a few times, and this is what I mean. Like, we just need to convert those really good attacking positions into either the final ball being better or putting it into the net. So obviously, Will Harley hits the crossbar. We get round the back a couple of times. Just the final ball's probably not been quite right, or not been as good as it could be, or as I said, the finish wasn't quite right. But yeah, no, it was. When it was 11v11, we felt that was the best solution, or the best way to sort of expose Chatham. Obviously, depending on what they're doing as well, because if they do something different, then we like to think we've got a solution to that problem as well. So, but they didn't really change a great deal what they'd done, so it just meant that we kept knocking on the door that way, really, and kept creating chances. But obviously, when it goes to 11v10. It's a little bit more complicated in terms of building up shorter to progress the ball. We can still do it, and I think we've done that really well. I don't think when we did go down to 10 men, it looked like we had a man less, to be honest. We still kept creating chances. We obviously got the goal, so we kept playing on the front foot, being aggressive. So if anything, I think in some respects we probably got even better when we went down to 10 men. So it was long story short, we just felt that was the best way to cause Chatham problems, and I think it worked. So
yeah. I mean, and obviously they were long passes rather than just aimless hoofs, weren't they? I think and you're still looking to play the wingers in, aren't you? Because you've got Tom playing a little bit deeper, but perhaps now with Toby Fagg in front of him. That looked quite a good combination.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
John still pulling wide, and Ansu moving the ball around in the middle. That looked like a good shape to me.
Yeah. I think there was, as I said, there was loads of positives to take from today. I thought we were on top. I thought the way that we set the team up, cause Chatham problems. Yeah, no, we were pretty positive about it. That's what I mean. It's so important not to hinge everything on the outcome, because you know, when you reflect on the game, there was loads to like in terms of the chances they created. Not a lot. So
No.
yeah, no, I thought as I said, there was loads of positives to take.
Yeah, and Will, you mentioned his first full start.
Yeah.
It's quite a big job he was taking on there as a sort of target man alongside David.
Yeah.
He came so close to scoring. He just couldn't quite. The ball was high, wasn't it? He just couldn't quite get over it to get it.
Needed to be an inch taller, didn't he?
Yeah. Which is, you know. But I thought he was taking up great positions. He was showing himself. Again, he was being fouled and got penalised against him a couple of times, which I think is a good sign, actually. He does look the prospect that we think he's going to be, don't we?
Yeah, he's. I think the biggest compliment we can probably give him is the fact that we're starting him in this type of game against one of the better teams in the league. So yeah, no, he was. He's obviously been very good on the training pitch. That's meant he's got on the pitch. Obviously got his goal last week. He was decent again in the week when he come on against Littlehampton. Trained on Thursday night very well. We were actually due to start Geordie up top with Dav, but Geordie got a slight knock on Thursday, and then rather than change the approach that we sort of felt would best pose Chatham problems, we just went for a straight swap with Will in for Geordie, and I thought he was very good. I thought his link play is excellent. Some of his one touch combination play to bring others into the game is really good. Yeah, he's doing very well. He's doing very well, and the thing that I like about him is, you know, he's almost doesn't realise how good he is.
Yeah.
So he's when he you know, he's really humble, works hard. You know, he's very unassuming, which is great. But then equally, when he does realise how good he can be, he's going to be an absolute handful.
Yeah.
So it's just a balancing act, because as I said, that not realising how good he is and being quite unassuming, that, you know, drives him to work incredibly hard and is very humble. But then, you know, what you don't want to do is when he does realise how good he is, then that means he takes his foot off the gas.
Yes.
So, but I don't think he will. I don't think he's that type of lad. But yeah, no, he's had a really, really good week.
Yeah, and that's good for a lot of the younger players. That transition from being a youngster with incredible talent to becoming a fully fledged senior.
Yeah.
That's that's the transition, isn't it? Which can make or break them, and that can be. We've seen it at the Premiership level, let alone.
It's just consistency.
Yeah.
So that, you know, I think you could go right the way across non-league, and I think you find players left, right, and centre who, on their day, have a League 2, League 1, Championship, maybe even Premier League level performance in them. That's why I think you get Maidstone beating Ipswich as an example, but the challenge is consistency.
Yeah.
You know, do you have 50 of those in them? So, and I think that's probably a great point to make around the group. We've taken 4 points off Chatham. I think we've dominated 𝑽𝑰𝑬𝑾 on Saturday. The challenge for us is consistency.
Yes.
If we can find that, you know, we've got 11 games to go, 10, 11 games to go. We could win all 10. Like, we have that in us. Like, you can see that today with, as I said, Chatham are flying. The challenge for us is, can the young group find that consistency? And it's difficult. Does that come over time with more experience normally? Momentum. So I felt like we've built a little bit of momentum this past week, obviously getting through to a cup final, taking points off of two of the better sides in the league. So you feel like we're building momentum, and as I said, it wouldn't surprise me. We do have it in us to win 10 in a row, but
yeah,
again, like when you got a young group, consistency is often what can be most frustrating.
Yeah.
But no, I think again we're pretty pleased with a decent week, with a slight feeling of disappointment because we could have won all three, and I think we deserve to win all three.
Yeah, and you know the second half was annoying because of that. I think Freddie came on. The only thing we have to ask, obviously, is Tom got that was a bit of a tangle, wasn't it? So again, we're back. You're probably having to assess him at the moment. So
don't know, not sure
exactly. So we'll find out more about that in due course. But nevertheless, Freddie came on, and again stretched them. Unfortunate to be taken off because of the sending off situation. But again, he looks to be playing well at the moment.
Yeah, he's getting there.
Just get those crosses in, I guess.
Yeah. The challenge for Fred is to make sure that we're not still saying the same things in 2 or 3 months' time that we were saying to him 6 months ago. You know, he's big, he's strong, he's quick, he's aggressive, he's direct, he's technically very good off left foot and right foot. He's got all the tools. It's just, again, finding that consistency and being able to take on board information and then apply it to his game. So I think it's incredibly simple for players of Freddie's profile to be effective. But at times what you often find is players of Freddie's profile aren't effective because they don't do the 2-3 things that they need to do. So it's really basic, but when we get midfield players forward facing, Freddie needs to run in behind, and he needs to show people his number. He needs to not ball watch. He needs to not the ball get put in behind and then react. He needs to be dictating the pass with the run. So the challenge for Fred is, and that will ultimately determine how far he gets, is whether or not he's able to apply that to his game consistently. Because when he does it, he's an absolute handful. Yeah.
So it's making the play. It's making the play before the ball comes, as opposed to waiting for the ball to come and then making the play.
Well, if I'm playing with Freddie as a midfield player, I want to see his number.
Yes.
And I want to be able to put it in behind. And if I'm playing against Freddie, I do not want him to run me in behind. No. I want him to come feet so I can get tight and keep him in front of me. I do not want him running in there. And when he does it, he's very effective. But like today, sometimes he does it, sometimes he doesn't, which means he's impacting the game, but nowhere near as much as I think he can. And ultimately, that's what's gonna determine, as I said, how far he gets. Because if he'd done that consistently, he'd start every game. Right? That's the reality. He would start every game because he's got so much going for him and he's got so many tools. But it's just, again, finding that consistency. Now, you could argue coming in and out of the side might get in the way of that, and that's something for us to reflect on. But then equally, if you're telling someone to do the same thing a lot and it's not happening consistently, then obviously there needs to be changes to the team. And like with Tom, you need to tell Tom Chalmers it once and he'll do it. Yeah. Which is why I think he got in 3, 4, 5 times, nearly got an assist. Yes. And probably caused an awful lot more problems for Chatham than what Leggy done. But again, like it's all part of Fred's development, and you know, touch wood, he gets there, because if it clicks for him, he'll be an absolute handful, and arguably he'll go on and play higher. But I think there's a few lads like that. But again, consistency is the key. Yeah. So the other thing we probably have to talk about in addition to that is the second half. 1 minute I was being handed a announcement for a badly parked car. The next minute all hell was breaking loose on the pitch. It was a silly melee, wasn't it? And you know, we don't want to worry. We can get bogged down in how the referee handled it, but those sort of things probably players have got to try and keep out of it as best they can. Difficult, I know, from where we are. You know, I sort of give up a little bit talking about match officials, to be honest, because we've just watched it back and our lad's been sent off for less than what their lad's done. Yes. So their centre back has got David round the throat and pushed him on the floor. John Hoofer's been pushed on the floor. Yellow card. Tommy Fagg and the same player go head to head, and Tommy gets a red card. Yeah. And the other player doesn't get even a yellow card for the second incident. let alone a red. That's what I mean. I give up with it.
Yeah.
I honestly, I give up with some of what I'm seeing. It's very frustrating, and I'm trying to get my head around it. As I said, it's because we spoke to the match official before the game, and he must have known that we've had a few issues with referees because he initiated a conversation talking about it and talking about our discipline and stuff like that. So they've obviously, as a collective union, word gets around, and okay, we take that on the chin. So you get the spiel about respect, etc. and stuff like that. I completely agree with that. Yeah, great. Then you get decisions like that again. You just think, it's mind blowing.
Yeah, but it didn't feel, the end result, no matter what you think about the involvement, didn't feel equitable, didn't feel fair, I guess.
I don't know, there must be, maybe that, no, I'm not saying there's an agenda against Hastings, I don't think that for 1 minute, but maybe word does get around. Clearly it does, because as I said, the match officials before the game initiated a conversation with me around our discipline and what happened at the Lewis game. And then I pointed out the match officials' conduct on the day, and he was very surprised about that. So that word about that didn't get around.
No.
Surprise, surprise. So, you almost feel like we're not getting any decisions at the minute. Like there was a penalty as well.
Yes.
Like Will Harley's been folded in the penalty box. That's another penalty not given. And then when you look at the penalty last week that was given against us,
yes,
which was never a penalty, and then for this week, it's definitely a penalty. Again, like we watched it back, you go, that's a penalty. It's not given. You just think, it's so frustrating. And you you plan all week. You work hard to get the team as organised as possible. You can control what you can control, and then you just feel helpless to it a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, it's another example. We've got a fantastic crowd here, great atmosphere, decent game of football between two decent sides, competitive, not a bad tackle in the game. And again, it's just another example, I think, of it's probably a little bit too big for the match officials.
Yeah, I mean that these games, I suppose, with the increased crowds at Isthmian League games and the atmosphere and the quality of the players and the speed of the play, it's coming on. Those things are coming on leaps and bounds, aren't they? I guess it must make a difference. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, but you look at the difference of level of officiating across this week. So in the week we had a guy called Steve Hughes refereeing on Tuesday night. He was brilliant. He was brilliant. Calm, composed, communicated.
Right. Yeah.
Spoke about his strategy to make sure we kept 22 players on the pitch. Obviously within reason. Really considered around his decision making. And that's why he is refereeing at the level he is. And why these guys are obviously refereeing at the level they are.
Yeah.
And it just makes you feel absolutely helpless. As I said, I didn't agree with everything that was given on Tuesday, but to actually communicate it and talk about it in the game. No, Chris, this is why we've done this. Like this was my strategy. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this, and you go, "Oh, fair enough."
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you go,
and you can handle that.
But you don't get the. Why don't you just relax? No, yeah. I don't want to relax. Like I don't want us to relax. Yeah. It's a proper game of football. It's a proper spectacle.
Yeah.
Like it's there's local engagement with the community. There's people that are coming here to support their team. You have to be competent enough to cope with the pressure and the occasion. And you just look at the decisions and you think, well, if you're going to send him off, then you need to send the other one off.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? I think the only thing I would say, and the things that fans would say generally, is the players' reaction to the sending off and the way that we continue to take the game to Chatham. Yeah. We continue to play football. It didn't particularly look as though we'd gone down to 10 men. The lads kept on playing through and playing wide. And we got the reward, and it was an own goal, but it was all brought about by the pressure that causes the ability to take those throws.
Yeah.
And it was a shame that we ended up with a draw in the end, wasn't it? I mean, the way the players are reacting to those decisions and the way they are continuing to play and continuing to go with it shows how this group is developed. I think the best thing about today for me was how it showed where this group is at now.
Oh, yeah,
and that's what I would say to people. It really showed where this group is, that they did not stop. Okay, it was a pretty good cross for the goal they scored. Just, you can't argue with that sometimes, apart from him being able to get the cross in, perhaps.
We made that change, brought Sam McCoy on to make us a little bit more solid. Obviously, if you look at Sam and Freddie both playing the same position, but Freddie's more of a threat going that way, whereas Sam's a little bit more defensively minded going that way. So disappointed that we've been beat 1v1. Perhaps I need to take a bit of responsibility for that, because obviously I've made the change.
I think I would put it in the Sod's Law category.
Maybe. Well, I'll take a bit of credit for Will coming on last week, so we'll also take the hit with that change. So perhaps that didn't work. The real feeling is obviously we're disappointed because we dropped points, but we should gain confidence from it. You know, because if again Chatham are up there and they keep winning week in, week out, and I think, well, if that's the case, then we need
why
to.
Shouldn't we?
Yeah, why shouldn't we? But again, I can't lose sight of the fact we've done pretty well, and we've got ourselves into a very competitive position. So, our form's been pretty good. We keep picking up points, albeit not as many as we'd like in terms of
draws rather than wins, isn't it?
But now we just need to gain confidence from it and be positive. It's 3 unbeaten. Built a little bit of momentum after the month off. As I said, taking points off teams around us, perceived best teams in the league or up there with the better teams in the league. So, we just need to obviously be disappointed, but also confident that when Hornchurch are coming here on Tuesday, we will be very competitive and we'll be in a good position to take points off them as well.
So it doesn't stop, does it?
No.
Hornchurch Tuesday, Horsham next weekend, two more cracking games. I guess Jack must be back at last on Tuesday. Yeah,
he's done his longest ever 2-game ban. It was his second game today. So.
Well, he certainly he looked fit in the director's box today, jumping up and down.
Well, he's been running to and from the pilot field on match days.
We saw him turn up actually. It was quite interesting.
It'd be a welcome addition.
He didn't look like he was a good watcher of games.
No.
Actually, I think he'll be glad to be out there.
Like the rest. Well, It's a massive bonus. Obviously, his experience and his quality's been missed, so that'll help definitely.
So it's it looks pretty good to me. It looks like it's good. It's going in the right direction. I think a lot of people would agree with that. No one's going to give us 100 out of 100 to say there you go. But we have to earn it, don't we?
Yeah, definitely.
But it looks as though the group is coming together. It was enjoyable talking to Adam. You could feel the vibe talking to him on Thursday. So I feel fairly positive. I think you should too.
I'll definitely. No, we're all right. We're all right. We just need to, as I said, find consistency. If we do that, well, we said that. Then we said March would be the one.
Yeah.
And not a lot has changed really, and I guess that's a positive. Other than I'll say not a lot's changed. Obviously, we're through to a cup final now, which is great. Which basically means we're working right the way through to middle of May, which is great. Not many seasons are alive till end of May. And in terms of the league, not a lot has really changed. I mean, I think a couple of teams around us have lost today, so we've gained on them. Again, it's just, there is a feeling you think, we could have won all 3. I think we should have won all 3. So, we'll go again. We'll react, recover, and we will, we'll put a plan in place to try and tackle Hornchurch and welcome them to the pilot field on Tuesday and touch wood, we can give the supporters another decent showing and, again, push a team at the top of the division as far as possible.
Yeah, brilliant. We look forward to that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much again for
pleasure.
chatting after quite a emotionally exhausting afternoon.
It helps me. It's like therapy.
Yeah, we all do. We all do.
Thank you.
But no, this is our therapy.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic.
Thank
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.